Hey there, it's Hannah and welcome to the Cozy Corner of Craft. I hope that you're well. Today we are, this weekend I should say, this weekend it is the Wool Monty. It is a yarn show in Sheffield, and the good thing about having a yarn show in Sheffield and me being in Nottingham is it's only about 40 minutes away. I visited for the day last year. I last applied. I said on a podcast a while ago that I hadn't vended since 2019. That is false. I last vended in 2022. That's when I last vended at the Wool Monty. But then I don't think it happened in 2023 because they found a new venue. And then 2024 I was heavily pregnant. And then last year I had a baby, toddler. But this year I'm vending, exciting, the Wool Monty. So we are going to be leaving shortly to go and set up. And then I think we're going to go out for lunch. Then we're going to come back and maybe go to the gym. And then pick up the pickle from nursery. So it's a bit different to East Anglia Yarn Festival because if I forget anything, it doesn't matter because I'm at home and I get to sleep in my own bed. And I always feel much more rested after doing that than staying away. As you might be able to hear in my voice, but maybe not, I'm coming down with a cold, which is unfortunate timing. So I might have to be fueled on tea and cold relief tablets. I think that might be what I need to do, but let's go set up for the Wool Monty. My setup system is really easy, or I guess my yarn show setup. I don't do many yarn shows. I understand that a good setup does help with sales. I do get that. I feel like I'm in quite a privileged position in that I've managed to build up enough online interest, and I don't do that many yarn shows, where people come and see me at a yarn show and therefore I make sales anyway. So I don't feel the need to do a big investment. One thing I do think I need are sheets behind my grid wall. I have 3 5-foot grid wall. They fit in my Honda Jazz, our Honda Jazz. It's technically Mario's, I guess. He's the one that drives it. They fit wonderfully. Don't even need to take the feet off. And then you often at yarn shows can order tables because the venue has tables. So you rent tables. I rent 2 tables. So then I have a yarn table and then I can put stitch markers on a table. That's usually the extent of my setup. I don't use normal tablecloths. I use like bed sheets, unfitted sheets as tablecloths because they're a bit longer than a tablecloth. And I want it to hit the floor because then I can hide all of my bags of extra yarn and stock. They can all be hidden under the tables because otherwise there's just bags everywhere. So that is the extent of my setup. Usually I put all the yarn on and then I sort of rearrange it afterwards. For a few years I used to do the yarn like one full row of merino sock, one full row of whatever. I used to do it in bases like that. Now I do one grid wall of each, and I don't know which is better or which is worse. While I'm putting yarn on, Mario usually faffs around with the stitch markers, which is very helpful. I don't know what his technique is. Put him on the stands. I think that is the extent of the the planning there. And then we lay out the fluff and DK on the tables and also the mini skeins. We also lifted the bargain box up because we realised it was a little unkind to have people rummaging on the floor. So we lifted that onto the table as well. Behind the stitch markers is where I hide the cash box and just like stuff. It's not particularly well hidden, but like it does the job. And yeah, this is my very basic yarn show setup. Those little stands are shoe racks from IKEA. All set up and ready to go. 12:08, under an hour. I'd say that's pretty good. It's because I did it recently, so I didn't need to faff around with the colours too much. The lighting in here is not as good as East Anglia Yarn Festival, but it is improved from where it was. So I think my stitch markers still look alright. And then I've got Stardew yarn on this table, non-Stardew on this table. That's DK and fluff. And then, yeah. I think it looks okay. We're going to go get some lunch because I'm actually quite hungry. So that's it for today. I guess I might show you what I have for lunch, and then I'll check in with you tomorrow. One thing I will say, it's a bit more chaotic staying at home than if we're staying somewhere else. My friend's coming to pick me up, Emily. You'll see her. She's coming to pick me up imminently. So I'm just running around getting bits ready, making a tea for the road and all of that. And yeah, it's 8:30. Had a tea cake for breakfast. I've had a cup of tea already. And I'm excited. A bit nervous because I've not done this show at this venue before. I don't know what temperature it's going to be. It's quite chilly today. So I've gone skirt with bare legs, and then I've gone for my field day cardigan, not knit out of my yarn. Oh, the washing's done. And yes, it's just a bit more chaotic than it is if we're like East Anglia Yarn Festival, basically, if we're staying at the hotel. It's just all a bit more, especially there's a toddler here. Good morning. Day 1 of the Wool Monty, all set up, ready to go. We are here. It's 9:45. We've been here for a little bit. I'm on my 3rd tea of the day, which tells you quite a lot. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's much more full now than it was when we came and set up yesterday, which is lovely. Everyone ready to go. Got lovely Emma is my neighbour. She's last minute setting up, so I'm just going to go and disturb her. You can't see her stand because it's so lovely. Here we are. It's Emma's lovely stand. And so, yeah, I'm excited. It should be, hopefully, it should be good. I don't know how many people have bought tickets. I don't know how many people are coming. I've not vended here before. But it's a fun and exciting experience. So, yay! The wonderful thing about doing a yarn show in Sheffield and also in East Anglia is Norwich, I guess, if we're going by place names. For those of you who are unaware, they are not close to each other. They are very much at opposite ends of the country. Not quite opposite ends. But Sheffield is the north. East Anglia is, as the name suggests, to the east. So you get to see a lot of different customers and a lot of different vendors. And that was something that I had forgotten about when I was prepping stitch markers for this yarn show. I was like, well, these didn't sell particularly well at East Anglia Yarn Festival, so I won't top them up. That's fine. I've got 4 of those or whatever. And then those are the ones that sold. I sold out of. And it's like, oh, that does kind of make sense because it's a different customer base. But that's fine. But not only do you see different customers, you also see a lot of other dyers. For example, Colourcraft, who I'm showing you the stand now. I do use a lot of their dyes. This is who I started out using the dyes of because I was trying to be very British in all of the things I have, because I was trying to think of ways to stand out amongst all of the indie dyes. I've since forgone that, but they're based in Sheffield, for example. And it was nice seeing Second City Yarns again. She was my booth neighbour at East Anglia Yarn Festival. But for the most part, you will see, not for the most part, some people travel great distances to do many yarn shows. Like Helen of Giddy Yarns travelled from Dundee. That's miles away. That's so far. That's Scotland. For those who don't know, that's like 6-ish plus hours drive. Anyway, it's really nice. The point I'm making is really nice to go to different yarn shows and see the different vendors and find different businesses, because yeah, it just mixes it up a bit, makes it a little bit different. Blooming Yarns, I kept seeing people walking around with these giant hoops and I did not know what they were for, but Blooming Yarns was selling these hoops so you could make these beautiful crochet mandalas. The first pronunciation was correct. So I'm very excited to hopefully see some of them pop up on social media at some point. Because, yeah, there were also, I completely forgot to film this and I don't remember who was selling them. Someone was selling a crochet parasol kit, which seems so fun. I don't think I would use a parasol. I went through a phase. I think a lot of us maybe did if you're around my age. You know, if you're a teenager when Avril Lavigne was around, and like early Avril Lavigne, where it was a crime to be hashtag like other girls. So you wanted to be hashtag not like other girls. So I didn't want to have a tan and blonde hair and you know, all of those stereotypes of beauty. I wanted to be pale
and whatnot. So I did dream about getting a parasol, and I did look for one often when we went out, because I would look for a parasol and I wanted to be sat on a beach with a parasol, because I was, yeah. I mean, I still don't tan now, and I still heavily sun cream, so maybe it's done wonders for my skin in the future, like for current me. Maybe current me benefits from past me trying to be hashtag not like other girls. But yeah, that's by the by. That's not the point. I'm excited to see some of these crochet parasols come into being, and the mandalas as well, because it's just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, and just something a little bit different to do with your crochet, which I like and I appreciate. Like, I really like wall hangings as well, which is cool. Because it's turning your knitting into art, not just wearables. And I know that some knitting can be seen as wearable art. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. These needle felting little figurines were incredible. I have a lot of time for people that are good at needle felting. Emma of Make and Fable, you hear me talk about quite a lot, but we're actually friends in real life. We meet up, not as often as we should, but we meet up semi-frequently. And she does incredible needle felting, so I might message her and ask if she can come round to my house and teach me how to needle felt. And I'll get my sister in on the act, and maybe my mum, and we'll have a needle felt. I'll pay for it. She does classes as part of her job. So yes, I think it'd be really, really fun to needle felt, to do cool things. I just don't know if I'd be any good at it. I've only done very basic before. Hello, I'm awkwardly filming in a room full of people, which is always fun. I've ordered a ham and cheese toastie. I'm left Emily at my stand. I've also got a toffee crisp. It's a little pick me up. I'm a bit socialised out, and I don't have my phone with me, so I can't just sit and scroll for a minute. But it's 2:30. I've taken over £2,000, which is amazing. Much better than I've done at the Wool Monty before. And I don't think my prices have gone up since then. I mean, my stitch marker prices have. I, once again, haven't made enough of a variety of stitch markers, so isn't that par for the course? But I'm going to sit, I'm going to stare at the wall for a minute, recharge, eat some lunch, and then get back to it. I haven't filmed any stands yet. I haven't done much filming at all, in fact. But I'm hoping I get shots tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow through the day will be quieter, and then everything will be good, everything will be fun, everything will be fine. But I'm very much looking forward to eating my lunch, because I feel really, I've had 4 teas today. I've had quite a lot of tea, but I'm feeling a bit peopled out for the minute. I'll recharge and then I'll be back on it. It is 4:30. It's gone quiet. I have a few holes in yarn. I have a few holes in stitch markers. We'll see if I'm going to make some stitch markers tonight. We'll see how tired I am. I'm quite peopled out. I went to Unseen Yarn because I really love their yarn, but I don't need more yarn. But I shouldn't really be saying that at a yarn show, because obviously I want people to buy my yarn. I bought a project bag because it's leopard print, and I love leopard print project bags, and it's fun. It's a square. I'll show you more detail at some point, but this has been purchase of the day. But yeah, it's going very well. We've just over £2.5 for the day, which is amazing. And yeah, so far so good, so worthwhile doing. See, stitch marker holes. But it's just been nice chatting to people, seeing lots of projects I watch. I've done too much knitting, so I've got slight wrist pain, so I've not done any knitting since after lunch. Give it a bit of a break so I can do some more knitting tomorrow. It's quite nice coming back home after a market, just reaching around for a cup of tea. Only my 5th of the day. I know. It's nice coming home. Mary have made lasagna. It was delicious. I've just counted up my cash, because sometimes cash payments can get they can slip under the radar. But good. Taking the £2,888, which is a very satisfying number. Taken today, I'm going to endeavour to bead weave some more purple dinosaurs and purple dragons. It's 8:20. Pickle's just gone to bed. So I'm going to sit, do some bead weaving, which I don't usually do at East Anglia Yarn Festival, because I don't take any beading supplies. It's impossible for me to know what's going to sell. So that's fine. I'm going to attempt to bead some more dragons and dinosaurs. We'll see how many I get done. Might just try a couple, because I know there's one of the organisers wants a dinosaur and someone else who's back tomorrow wants a dragon. So I at least want to make one of each, but I want to make more, so hopefully people buy them. But we shall see. This is when I make more, then people don't buy them. I ideally should make more chickens, but I don't have the time. I don't want to make more chickens. Hello, I'm about to go to bed, but I've beaded 4 little stitch markers, 2 dragons, 2 dinosaurs, because someone wanted a dragon, someone wanted a dinosaur. They're back tomorrow, so beaded 2 dragons, 2 dinosaurs. About to put findings on them, put them on cards, and then I'm going to bed because it's 20 to 10, which is past my bedtime anyway, and I am very tired. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of the Wool Monty. Good morning, it's the Wool Monty, day 2. I have my TPCT on that I knit out of 2 skeins of yarn and my telegram cardigan. This is the one that I'm tempted to make a second one of, and over a dress because it was a little chilly in there, so I've gone with layerable pieces. But the sun's out this morning, so I'm actually quite warm. Emily's coming to pick me up in about 5 minutes. I managed to bead 4 more stitch markers yesterday, as you saw. 4 more stitch markers yesterday. 2 of them are already allocated, so don't know if necessarily that was worth my while, but at the same time I do feel it was nice to do. I did not sleep the best. I couldn't get to sleep. Then I woke up in the night and then I couldn't get back to sleep. So sleep was not the best, but that's okay because that's what cups of tea are for, and I'll be fine once I get there. So hoping today's a bit quieter so I can walk around and film some stands, and yeah, here's to another good day of the Wool Monty. Good morning. We were all set up and ready for day 2. We did most restocks yesterday, as we saw. I've sold out of some stuff. I did make a couple of I've told you all this, make a couple of stitch markers, just run around and done some filming this morning. I haven't got around to everyone, so hopefully it's a little quieter today so I can get around and film some more people later. It's just easy to film when there's no one else here. I mean, vendors are here, but like no customers, because I'm not awkwardly filming people. So yes, hopefully. I don't think today will be as good as yesterday, because yesterday was very good, but we shall see. Fingers crossed, we can be optimistic. Half again would also be incredible, so we'll see. I was very surprised with how day 1 had gone. I had forgotten, and I'm recording this voiceover after I've edited the whole of this video, so I had something I had forgotten and I hadn't mentioned. And obviously, when I vended at Yarndale, when I vended at the Wool Monty last time, it was 2022. Now, I had done East Anglia Yarn Festival that year, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think that was the first year. And takings were pretty good. But I had forgotten that we had just had 2 years of a global pandemic. And people might not have been as keen and eager to mix with large groups of people in quite an enclosed setting. So that is potentially one of the reasons why my takings were not as good. Oh, this Cocoon Yarns, I think. Sam, lovely guy. He's only been dying for 4 months. These colourways are absolutely incredible. So I know it says the Wool Den, but that's because that's the stand name. But that is Cocoon Yarns. Very talented dyer. But yes, no, that is why I think that takings were potentially down when they weren't down. In 2018 and 2019 takings also weren't incredible, but they were more average as to what I took at yarn shows at that time. But yeah, I had forgotten that, we had just gone through 2 years of a global pandemic, so maybe people weren't going out. And also, a lot of people didn't work, were down on money and whatever, because after COVID and everything. So I had forgotten that small, quite large, impactful instance. And that's potentially why takings weren't as good in 2022 as they were this year. Spoilers, takings were pretty good this year. You'll find out in a minute. This is Green Lambkin Yarn. She's in Chesterfield. Her daughter was there. I've not seen her daughter since she was, I thought it was since she was 8, but I think it might be since she was 10. They came to Nottingham and we hung out. And I've been to Chesterfield and hung out. And we all went to Bakewell Wool Gathering together and had a lovely time. And yeah, I saw her daughter. I was like, oh my goodness, you're so grown up now, because she's I think doing her GCSE. Well, she is doing her GCSEs. So wild how grown up she is now. And yes, it made me feel a little bit old, but that's fine. That's fine. Here is the beautiful Giddy Yarns. She does such good mini skein sets. She has an Alice in Wonderland collection out at the moment, and there are some absolutely stunning colourways as part of that collection. So if you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland, please go and check out Giddy Yarns, because yeah, all of her yarns and such colourways are inspired by books. I think specifically children's literature. Actually, nope, take it back. It's definitely not. It's not children's literature alone. But the Alice in Wonderland collection is so good. So good. Something that made me really happy about this yarn show, and maybe it's just because it's June and that I'm maybe noticing it more, so many rainbows. There were so many rainbows everywhere, which I really, really liked to see, because obviously June is Pride month, even though Nottingham Pride is usually in July. I don't really understand. But I guess you just pop it in where it fits in the calendar. The sentiment stands. But yeah, it was really good to see how many rainbows were around everywhere. And in the Wool Monty guide, if you counted the little rainbow, they weren't rainbow, but they were like rainbow colours, or the little neon sheep in the show guide, you won a prize. I don't fully know what the prize was, but that's cool. This stand, auspicious stitch, blah, blah, blah. This stand made me, firework in particular, made me want to learn how to spin. But at the moment, I feel like I do not have the time to learn how to spin. Therefore, it'd be irresponsible of me to buy fluff without having the time to learn to spin. I don't need to add to my stash unnecessarily. Learn to spin first, and then I can buy all the fluff. I just currently don't have the time to add another time-consuming hobby to my roster of hobbies. But every time I see beautiful, I don't know what it's called, is it tops, fluff, roving? I don't know what it's called. Spinners will know. Every time I see some kind of beautiful fluff to be spun, stunning. There were workshops at the Wool Monty. There was a spinning workshop, which one of the organisers took, and she said she had a great time. So yes. Hello, a fly? Maybe in the future I will endeavour to learn to spin. I need to go and visit Jess of Skein and Stitch, and she said she would show me on her little spinner. She said she'd lend me her little spinner, but I was like, I actually don't have the time because I'm about to go into Advent dyeing and twisting, and I know you're going to want fish and chickens when I have the post yarn show shop update, which will be in July. I'm working on Stardew stuff at the moment, but I know you're going to want fish and chickens, which means I also need to bead weave because I sold out of fish and I sold out of chickens. I'm sorry, but it does mean I will do some beading before I do a post yarn show shop update, because I know you've all been waiting for them very patiently. So thank you very much for that. But oh, I love this chunky yarn so much. So good. So good. Anyway, that was a small selection of stalls that I was able to film, but there were loads more too. Hello. So I'm back home. I completely forgot to vlog more on the Sunday. Apologies. It was busy. I went and got lunch and took my camera, prepared to do the same as I had the day before. And then I sat with some of my lovely friends. So I sat and chatted with them instead. So I didn't get the time to sit and record because it's awkward filming in front of other people. So I was meant to film more. Anyway, for the whole weekend, I took £4,470 and 20 pence, which is incredible. At East Anglia Yarn Festival, I think I took about £200 more, maybe. I can't fully remember. You can refer back to that video. I'm sure I say it in there. I can't fully remember how much I took. But that's amazing. So good. Especially as it's a local show, so I didn't have to fork out a fortune on accommodation and loads of money on petrol and stuff like that, because it's 40 minutes away. So we just stayed at home, which, yeah, great. I did sleep terribly on the Saturday night. I slept really badly because I couldn't get to sleep, and then I woke up and then I couldn't get back to sleep, and it was really annoying. But that is fine. The Wool Monty is a fantastic show. I had done a few of them before. I did the first ever one that they organised, and then I did 2 after that. Was the first one 2018? When did I move back to England? 2017. Maybe I'd only done 1 before, but I swear I'd done 2. No, I'd definitely done 2 before. Yeah, so the first one must have been 2018, then there was 2019, and then 2020 and 21 didn't happen. 22 I did, 23 it didn't happen, and then 24 and 25 it did happen, but I didn't vend, and then this is 26. So the team are great. The team are so good. When we did set up on the Friday, there were drinks and snacks out for the vendors. There was a massive tower of cookies. The leftovers were available in the vendor room the next day. I did have a couple. Millie's cookies are very tasty. And there was like fruit available. They thought of everything. There were some vegan cookies. They thought of everything, which was really, really nice. They really looked after us. The whole time, all of them, they had their own stand. The team own the yarn shop Woolful, which is kind of Sheffield Bakewell direction. And it's not in Bakewell, but it's that way. It's not in the middle of Sheffield, it's like out of Sheffield. So they had their own stand and they were selling stuff, but it was Mand that I saw most often, walking around, making sure everyone was all right, making sure that they were available. If anyone had any concerns or anyone had any issues, you always knew where you could find the vendors, which I think is so key and so important, because I have been to yarn shows before, not vendors, organisers. I have vended at yarn shows before where you couldn't find the organiser ever. And yes, you felt a little bit alone. I don't do that yarn show. I only did it once, and that was fine. Yarndale. And I didn't like, I'll say it, I didn't like vending at Yarndale at all. I can do a whole different video about that, and it's probably quite rusty when I do it 2022. I'm probably quite rusty, but I did not like vending at Yarndale. And I know other people feel differently, and I know other people like vending at Yarndale. And I liked attending Yarndale, that was nice, but vending I did not enjoy. But very well organised show. The venue was really, really good. So it's part of a science centre. I don't know what's in the science centre. I may be in Nottingham, but I didn't grow up around Nottingham. But chatting to a few friends who grew up in Derby, and my husband grew up South Yorkshire. A lot of his family's from the middle of Sheffield. So he lived there for a time. Like, they would go to the Magna Science Centre on school trips. I'm from West Sussex. I did not do that. That would have been too far. So, yes, you can buy a yearly... You don't need this to get into the yarn show. The yarn show is a separate thing. But if you go with your family, you can get a yearly pass. And so your family can go off and have a look around the Science Centre whilst you go off and have a look at yarn. It's great. There's a massive playground outside. There's a splash park outside. We're tempted to buy a ticket so we can take the pickle because she loves the water. Anyway, it was a really, really good weekend. Takings were incredible. When I'd done this yarn show before, back in 2022, it was back in the arena. I don't know who the arena's owned by now, so I'm not going to say who it is, but it's in the Sheffield arena. So, is it Motorpoint? It's Motorpoint in Nottingham. I don't know, it's in the arena. And I don't think I necessarily had a great spot in the arena in 2022, because for the whole weekend I only took £1,800. So I won't lie, I wasn't in a rush to vend at the Wool Monty again. But I told myself, it's my local show. It doesn't matter if takings aren't amazing. Like, I have primed myself a little bit with East Anglia Yarn Festival being so incredible that I was worried I would be disappointed. I'd set myself the low goal of £2,500 for the whole weekend, and I surpassed that on the first day, which is amazing. So good. When I saw where we were placed, I was a little bit worried that we might get lost because people were walking up and down and we were kind of in the across. I mean, we were on a corner, so we were both in the up and down and the across, but there were just people everywhere all the time, which was really, really nice. My bargain box got absolutely emptied, so that is my tip. If you are a yarn dyer and you're doing a show, I do recommend a bargain box. I did talked to my friend Emma, who's making Fable. She was next door, and I said, oh, I'm worried I put too much in the bargain box because then people are buying that instead of my yarn. But then we decided that actually having some cheaper yarn and some more expensive yarn is quite a good balance, because it wasn't stopping people buying the more expensive yarn, just everyone wanted the Stardew yarn. People weren't as interested in my non-Stardew colours, which is fine. The non-Stardew colours, my sparkle base was incredibly popular. I don't know why, but I love that. It's not as popular online, but in person, people love it because it's so sparkly. And if you're a bit of a magpie, you love the sparkle base. So the show ran, it was 10 till 5 on the Saturday, then 10 till 4 on the Sunday. We were done packing down. Oh, a pet peeve. Oh, this might come across a little bit bitchy talking about other businesses, but I'm not going to name names because it's not my place. I nipped to the toilet at 5 to 4. 10 to 4? 5 to 4, I think. Just so I was ready to pack down at 4 o'clock. There weren't that many people around, but there's still some people around. So I nipped to the loo really, really quickly. As I walked back, we still had 3 minutes to go. Maybe it was just before 5 to. I'm not that quick at peeing. I mean, I'm not slow. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know. So I was walking back through and I saw people packing down. And they were pulling out bags and taking stuff off the wall. I'm like, we've still got 3 minutes to go. I understand if you've got an analog watch, your watch might be fast, sure. But it's a real pet, and it was multiple people doing it, and it's a real pet peeve of mine. I get it, it's 3 minutes, but I just think it looks really unprofessional. And it even says in the thing that they send, do not pack down before 4 o'clock. It's a real pet peeve. Mario does a market, and if the organiser saw you packing down at 3 minutes to 4, she would not be happy and would not invite you back. So I don't know if the organisers of the Wool Monty are as strict as that, but it's a real pet peeve of mine. Wait until the show finishes and then you can pack down. We were all packed down, ready to go. By 4:26, we were sat in the car. I borrowed my friend's trolley. It was very helpful. But we were sat in the car at 4:26, heading back home. So we were home by 5:15, which is so fast. So fast. Mario and I, it wasn't Mario that packed down, but Emily and I, but usually it's Mario and I. We're very efficient. I've got a very minimal setup for yarn shows. I don't do that many markets. I didn't see the point in, maybe this sounds really stupid. I don't see the point in investing in a lot of money for a market setup when I don't do that many markets. I usually do one a year. This year I've done 2. I don't want to spend a lot of money. Shoot me. If I did loads of markets, then sure, maybe I would have a more elaborate setup. But we tried to be quick setup, quick pack down, done. And we're often one of the first to leave. And then as we leave, like, how are you already done? I'm like, because I'm very fast. Because it's very minimal. The tables were already there. We just throw everything in a bag. Some people do stock takers, they pack down, which does make sense. That does make sense. I don't do stock takers, I pack down. I shove it all in a bag, and that's a problem for future Hannah. Anyway, do you want to see what I've bought? I did not buy any yarn at all. None. Oh no. Oh, it's over there. I need to grab it. I took it out of the bag because Pickle was playing with the bag. Pickle loves a bag. We're in the midst of a heat wave right now. It's intense, and it's intense time. So on one of my many tea runs to the vendor room, I kind of had to walk through all of the other vendors, and I saw Unseen Yarn. I'd seen their yarn on Instagram because the Wool Monty were like, they're here. So I was like, oh, that looks like kind of my jam. Their stand had been quite pilfered by the time I got there, so I didn't buy any yarn because there was none that I saw that I was like, that needs to be in my stash. There was lots of yarn that I thought was incredibly beautiful that I could have definitely spent my money on, but I'm trying to be a bit more mindful with my yarn purchasing. I'll have a video out about that soon. I've finished talking about it now, overconsumption in the yarn world. So I saw this project bag. And her husband, it was her husband that was there because she wasn't very well, but he gave me a key ring. So this is it, Unseen Yarn. Lovely. Is that the right way around? Yes, because it's also on the back, and then the back is backwards, obviously. But it's a leopard print project bag. Knit. Popper. Very sturdy fabric. Square base. Not lined. Part of me wishes it was lined, but I also get it. It doesn't need to be lined. But just a really fun Really fun project bag. Delightful. Leopard print. I love a bit of leopard print. So got one of them. Next up, as I was running back from the toilet, running back from getting a cup of tea or from the toilet, one of the two, I quickly swung by Flame Knits, and I love her stitch markers. I have many of them. And I said, send me a side of hedgehog. And I went back later and paid for it. No, that's not true. She came by and we exchanged. I exchanged a chicken for a hedgehog. Great deal. I just love these little hedgehogs. They're so cute. They're little beady eyes. I've also pre-ordered, but need to pay for, a pigeon. Because she'd sold out of pigeons by the time I got there. But how cute is this? So this is Flame Knits. It's on the front? No, it's on the back. These are all glass. She makes these. She is incredible. And I love them. I have several of them. Is there one on this project? There was. No, not that project at all. There was one. There was one on the jumper that I was knitting, the pickle. But I might have taken it off because I finished it. Finished knitting the round for now. Because I'm onto the sleeves. I always have a sheep. And, oh, last year in my Advent, I requested cauldrons from her because it went with the Advent theme. So if you got last year's Advent, you got cauldrons by Flame Knits. Finally, I don't know what her name is. Her business name is Ethel and Joan, but I don't know what her name is. And I feel a bit bad because I chatted to her loads last year, and then we had a really big chat this year as well, which was nice. Really nice. She's lovely. I bought some buttons from her. Now, I don't know what they're going to be used for, but I just bought some buttons because I really like them and I didn't want to add to my stash, so I bought buttons. She makes resin buttons. She lives in London. This is Ethel and Joan. So I've got these ones that are clear, but with a bit of sparkle in. Bit of silver glitter. I figure it goes with a lot of the yarn that I have. If you're on Patreon, I did a video recently talking about the future projects I want to make. So I was kind of keeping that in the back of my mind, what kind of yarn I wanted to use to make a cardigan, blah, blah. But I also bought these ones. I figured this size is just quite useful. Yes, it's like fakes. This is apparently like fake snow. And when you put it in black, it goes like greeny blue. Anyway, they're absolutely beautiful. So that is my haul from the Wool Monty. If you want to know how much of my sock I got knit, I finished one sock and have not cast on the second one yet. Oh, Mary Who is home. I haven't measured it against anything, so I don't know where the heel's going to go, but I'll work that out at some point. I'm going to cast on the next sock first. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Did you go to the Wool Monty? What did you buy? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below and follow me on social media if you'd like to. That's always nice. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing. And I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye.